In the beginning, before creation, there was only God. And then, with divine authority, God spoke,
"Let there be light."
and light burst across the void. Day after day, creation unfolded, forming the oceans, mountains, animals, and all that was beautiful. And then came something different, something personal. God said,
"Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion."
God formed Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed life into him. Adam opened his eyes, a living soul. Man was not an accident. Man was not merely another creature. God created man to reflect him, to rule over creation, to walk with him, and to speak with him. Humanity was made for relationship with God. From the very beginning, God desired that man would grow into his likeness, ruling wisely, walking closely, and living freely in fellowship with him. God put man in Eden, a place of beauty, abundance, and peace. There was only one command:
"You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. From the day that you eat of it, you shall die."
freedom with one boundary. But something was missing. God looked at Adam and said
"It is not good that man should be alone."
he would make him a helper suitable for him. God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. And from Adam's rib, God created a woman. Not from his feet, that she should be beneath him. Not from his head, that she should rule over him. But from his side. Not inferior. Not secondary. She was created as a helper, to complement man, to complete him, to be his divine support. Created from his rib, she shared the same nature and dignity. She too bore the image of God. When Adam saw her, he exclaimed,
"This at last is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for out of man this one was taken."
unity, equality, shared image, shared purpose. They were both naked, yet not ashamed. Perfect innocence, perfect communion. But into this perfection entered sin through a voice of a serpent. The serpent was craftier than any beast of the field. The serpent approached the woman and whispered,
"Did God say you shall not eat of any tree of the garden?"
The woman said,
We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat of it, or you shall die.
Serpent said,
"You will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil."
Imagine the temptation. To be like God. To rise higher. To decide for yourself what is good and evil. The fruit suddenly looked different. It was good for food, pleasant to the eyes, desirable for wisdom. It felt right. It promised glory. She took the fruit and ate it. Then she turned to Adam, gave it to him, and he ate it as well. He didn't ask if God allowed this. He simply ate. Sin entered not by force, but by choice. And immediately, the eyes of them both were opened. Shame replaced innocence. They sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. Isn't that human nature? We sin, and then we try to cover ourselves. God came walking in the garden and called out to Adam. Not because God didn't know, but because Adam needed to answer. Adam said,
I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself.
Fear had replaced fellowship. God then asked,
"Hast thou eaten of the tree?"
Adam blamed the woman blamed the serpent, a typical fallen human behavior. God is just. Sin has consequences. Then God declared judgment. God said to the serpent,
Because you have done this, cursed are you among all animals and among all wild creatures. Upon your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He will strike your head, and you will strike his heel.
a mysterious promise hidden inside the curse. God said to the woman,
I will greatly increase your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children.
God then said to Adam,
Cursed is the ground because of you. In sorrow you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return.
Pain entered life. Labor became hard. Death became a reality. The man named his wife Eve because she was the mother of all who live. And Adam and Eve were driven out of Eden. Humanity separated from God. Yet something profound happened. Before sending them out, God made garments of skin and clothed them. God himself covered their shame. And in the curse upon the serpent was a promise. He will strike your head. One day a Savior would come. One born of a woman. One who would crush the serpent and all its power. Sin entered through a tree, the fruit. Salvation would also come through a tree, the cross. God is just. He punishes sin, but he is also loving. He provides redemption. He provides grace. The fall of Adam and Eve is not just theirs, it's ours. We desire independence. We believe the lie. We blame others. We hide. But the same God who said, "Where are you?" still calls us, and the same God who promised a Savior has fulfilled that promise. The story of the Bible begins with creation, moves through rebellion, but points toward redemption. And this is only the beginning.